If you're feeling overwhelmed, I've got two things today that'll help you. The first is I'm going to try and change your mindset about how you think about overwhelm and the things that you allow into your life. And the second is I'm going to help you with prioritization. I feel like a lot of us get stuck on some very simple things. And when we get stuck on these things, what tends to happen is we spin, we loop. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling like you have too many things you want to do at any given point in time and end up not doing anything productive, this video is for you. The first thing I want to talk about is the concept of intentionalism. So you may have heard of essentialism before. Intentionalism is similar. The idea is that you allow intentionally things into your life that you want to be there. What does this mean? This means that in general, as things come up during your day, your week, your month, your year, that would normally get slotted into either your calendar or your to-do list or just your brain where you're holding everything, you decide at that moment whether it's something that you intentionally want to allow it. Is it something that is going to bring more joy to your life? Is it something that's very important, so you need to get it done so that you feel more joy in the future? A great example of this is something like taxes. At the moment, they're probably not something you want to deal with and do, but in the future, it's something that will make you feel better, because when you have done your taxes, future you is not going to be frustrated that you haven't done them and feeling more anxious. Generally, our overwhelm and our anxiety comes from feeling anxious about things we wish we had done in the previous days, weeks, months. So intentionalism, on the one hand, is choosing things that are intentionally going to add value to your life over the long run. So I'll give you some more examples of these and tell a quick story. Common things that people allow into their lives without wanting to can be Netflix time, HBO, whatever. It can be video game time. It can be time on your phone, on Instagram or Facebook. You're intentionally choosing to spend your minutes doing these things, and we all do it. But when you're doing it, if you do it through the lens of intentionalism, then you're saying to yourself, at this moment, there's nothing I would be happier doing. There's nothing that will give me more value in the future right now than unwinding by doing one of these things. And just that simple mental switch, giving yourself that break, that pause to say, is this something that will intentionally make me feel better? A perfect example for you is actually shooting this YouTube video. It's not something that I'm comfortable doing in this exact moment. There was other stuff I felt like I wanted to be doing today. It's a Sunday, but the truth is that I know that future me will be much happier that I took the minutes to sit here and talk to you. I care more about getting my ideas out, about teaching, about sharing these things that I'm learning with you than I do about spending a little more time cleaning my apartment or doing things around the house that will make me feel better this week, but not next year, next month, for the rest of my life. So that's the core idea for essentialism. That's the concept underlying it. And if you have questions about that, please ask them down below. It's not something that I've seen talked about a lot. I've seen essentialism talked, but not intentionalism. So check this out as the first thing. Second thing I want to talk to you about is a concept called the one thing. And I have a deeper understanding of this than I ever thought I did before. It didn't come to me naturally. I'm the type of person that even when I have a to-do list, I like to jump around it and tick different things off. And I'm not great at time blocking my days, which is what a lot of people tend to do that try to follow this principle. So the twist on it that I haven't seen other people really explain before is how you gain the skill set of knowing what the one thing is. So just to give you kind of an overview, the one thing is an idea that at any given point in time, there's only one thing you can actually be doing. I can't be shooting this video and working on my computer and talking on the phone. Yes, people try to multitask, but the idea is that at any given point in time, there's only one thing that is the most valuable thing for you to be doing. The problem is that when we plan our days, we often are planning 3, 5, 10, 15 different things that we're going to accomplish throughout the day. And what does that mean? That means there is no one thing. That means there's 10 things that you're going to try and prioritize and pretend that those 10 things are the individualized one things. So how can you apply this to your day-to-day life? What can you actually do with the one thing, and how do you train yourself to have the ability to choose what that one thing is? First and foremost, I don't want you to have a prioritized to-do list that you work through. That I have found can increase the amount of overwhelm and anxiety people feel. I tend to feel that way too. If I have a list of 20 different things that I need to do today, that I believe I need to do today, I'm not gonna get all 20 done. So I'm gonna look at this list throughout the day feeling overwhelmed. And even if I do a couple of them, there's a good chance that I'll find myself on the couch procrastinating later because that list is simply too daunting. So instead of 20 things, I want you to start something very simple. It's going to be building up the habit of knowing what the one thing is and taking action on that one thing. So first, just sit with me for a second and breathe. Just take a breath, okay? That is the first step, always, before you choose what your one thing is in this moment, is to breathe. You always have time for one breath. And if you still feel really anxious, take a second breath or a third. But you want to give yourself the space that you're not acting from a scared or frenetic state. You don't want to be bouncing and buzzing with uncomfortable feelings when you're making this decision. You want to pause so that you can go inside and feel. Because this decision actually isn't going to come from your logical brain, it's going to come from your gut. It's going to come from in here because that's where you know what you really need to be accomplishing at this one point in time. So after you've taken that breath, after you've paused, the next step is to create a list of the three most important things that you can think of right now. What 3 things, if you accomplish them today, or even if you only have half the day left, or even if you only have 3 hours left, what are the 3 most important things that you could do in the rest of this time that you have? Okay, for example, my list is I've got a call with my buddy Mark. We're gonna plan our weeks together. I'm gonna spend a little time at the gym. I wanna get a little bit of a workout in today, and I'm gonna work on music. Those are the 3 things that are the most important things for me to do for the rest of today. Now, I know I'm not gonna go to the gym right now because I'm gonna do that with my partner later, and the call with Mark isn't for another hour. So in this example, I know as soon as I get off this video, as soon as I'm done recording, yes, I'm probably gonna take the video and put it on my computer, but when that's done, when the video time is done, the one thing for me to be doing is hopping onto the computer and working on music. And even if I only get 30 minutes of music time, that's better than 0. Now, what often happens is we say to ourselves, I only have 30 minutes to do this one thing. So instead, I'm gonna do a time waster, or I'm gonna clean, or I'm gonna organize, which aren't bad things in and of themselves. It's just that they're often not the one thing at that point in time. So they're not actually gonna reduce your anxiety. Yes, having a cleaner apartment feels better mentally, but no, it doesn't reduce the anxiety because it's not actually doing the thing that you know and want to do. So to sum this all up, you want to A, be intentional about what you're spending your time on and what you're allowing into your life. And I'm going to go into some more videos where we talk about that. If you want to learn more about it, please let me know below. The second tip is you're going to focus on your one thing at any given point in time. So after you make a list of 3 things, I don't want you to do more than that. It can be less, but I don't want you to do more than 3. I want you to think about what is the one thing. You can think about it with your brain, but make sure you have the space internally to feel it with your gut. Because inside, some part of you knows what is the most important thing for you to be doing right now. So thank you for watching the video. Start on that one thing. Have a great day. Bye.